We begin the 10 a.m. bulletin with breaking news coming in. Days after the high-profile Lamborghini crash in Kanpur, the prime accused, Shivam Mishra, who had been absconding, he was at large, he has now been arrested formally. This is the case that's triggered outrage over the alleged preferential treatment. There was no immediate arrest, no custodial interrogation, no confirmed medical examination in the first crucial hours. A luxury car was covered and guarded. Access to the residence, as we quite clearly saw, reportedly was restricted. All of that had raised uncomfortable but unavoidable questions. Why was the law moving at two different speeds? Because the crash had left people injured. Eyewitnesses and police sources had maintained that Shivam Mishra was behind the wheel and allegedly he wasn't completely in a normal state. His family then, however, claimed that a hired driver was driving, even suggesting a medical episode of epilepsy and prior technical issues with the car. This is despite the fact that CCTV visuals told a different story, but now, 4 days on, Shivam Mishra has been arrested. That's the latest we're tracking on NDTV. This is the developing news story we're tracking after the high-profile Lamborghini crash case in Kanpur. The prime accused, a tobacco tycoon's son, Shivam Mishra, has now been arrested. There are many glaring lapses that people are pointing out as far as this investigation is concerned, because if you remember, this incident took place on Sunday. The tobacco tycoon's son had allegedly received some medical treatment. He was moved to Delhi, and you'll be surprised at hearing this. Despite this accident, despite people being injured, Shivam Mishra was moved to Delhi after this incident without informing the police officials in Kanpur. There was no immediate arrest, no custodial interrogation. He was given preferential treatment, no confirmed medical examination in the first crucial hours, and now 4 days on, Shivam Mishra, the prime accused in this case, has been arrested. Akhil Jamil joining us with the latest details. Akhil, what's the latest you can disclose at the moment?
Well, Professor, as you see, as per the sources, what we have got to learn that Shivam Mishra, who was absconding for the last 3 days, have formally been arrested by the Kanpur police team. So this is a fresh development, and what we have seen. You see, there have been multiple twists emerging from the story since the story broke out. And initially, what we have seen that the Kanpur police team has given a version that he was the one who was driving the vehicle, and then later on, what we have seen that another driver, Mohan, has come out in open, and he has basically given an affidavit in the court in which he has said that he was the person who was behind the wheel. So on one part, this is what we have seen, and then if you see on the very next day, what we have seen that the lawyer of the Shivam Mishra has claimed that Shivam Mishra was not even present at that point in time. He basically went to the national capital treatment. So right now, the latest information that we have got from the Kanpur police is that Shivam Mishra has been formally arrested by the Kanpur police, and today he will be produced in court at around 8 p.m.
Akhil, at this stage, do we know what specific charges has Shivam Mishra been arrested under?
Well, Professor, if you see since the beginning, what we have been seeing that there have been multiple versions that have been coming out. Initially, if you see, there were several victims when that Lamborghini, 10 crore Lamborghini basically hit several individuals over there. Initially, the complainant has basically changed his statement. Initially, he has given a different kind of a statement, and later on, he has changed his statement, saying that this was not his statement. So there were multiple versions that have come out, but so far as the investigation goes by the Kanpur police team, initially what we have seen that the FIR was registered in connection with the case against an unknown person. Later on, Shivam Mishra's name was added in this very case, and then after that, what we have seen that for the last 3 days, the Kanpur police team is trying to basically locate this individual, and finally they have got him, and today he was arrested, and in the next an hour or so, we can expect that he will be produced before the court.
Akhil, do stay on with us as I get in an update from Ranveer as well, who now joins us. Ranveer, what developments over the past 24 hours or beyond have led to the arrest finally after 4 days of delay, and also the first few hours of the accident? The official SOP wasn't even followed, and now 4 days on, Shivam Mishra is finally arrested? All right, we'll just reconnect with Ranveer. I sincerely apologize for that has been caused. Currently, after 4 days, Shivam Mishra is finally in police custody now. He has been arrested. That's the latest as far as this is coming in. Officials are currently investigating the matter. Investigators are also looking at the CCTV footage, the viral videos that categorically show Shivam Mishra being pulled out of the car. 4 days after this Lamborghini crash in Kanpur, the prime accused, Shivam Mishra, has now been arrested. This is the case that has triggered outrage over the alleged preferential treatment because, as I mentioned, there was no immediate arrest, there was no custodial interrogation, no confirmed medical examination in the first crucial hours after this car crash. Then Shivam Mishra was allegedly sent to Delhi without informing the police officials in Kanpur. Ranveer, I'm told, is back with us, tracking the latest as far as the probe action is concerned. Ranveer, break down for us the developments over the last few hours that have finally led to the arrest of Shivam Mishra after 4 days of delay.
Actually, yesterday's court's denial of accepting the surrender petition by the driver is the turning point in this case, and that's why Kanpur police is now has taken custody of Shivam Mishra, who is the prime accused in a Lamborghini case, on Sunday post noon. Speedy Lamborghini hit out a bike. After that, it hit a auto, and then the car smashed into the divider. So after that case, Kanpur police was continuously grilled over allegations of why they had not confirmed medical examination of the accused Shivam Mishra, and also Kanpur police was in question for not mentioning name of Shivam Mishra as accused. Though Kanpur police confirmed that on the basis of complaint by the victim, they filed the FIR, and later in the primary investigation, they found that Shivam Mishra was driving the car. So Kanpur police was claiming that Shivam Mishra was the man who was driving the car, but as per the lawyer of the Mishra family, Shivam was not driving the car. In fact, another man who was the driver of the car, he was driving the car. And yesterday they filed an FIR, a surrender petition in Kanpur court, and Kanpur court denied to accept that petition. And after that, Kanpur police ensured arresting of Shivam Mishra as accused in this case.
Ranveer, you're mentioning the driver. At this point, what is the status of this hired driver whose surrender plea was rejected by the court? Has the police formally clarified whether he's being treated as a suspect or a planted narrative at this stage?
Kanpur police will interrogate both Shivam Mishra as well as the claimant, the driver who is claiming to be driving the car at the time of accident. So both of them will be grilled. But now, as of now, Kanpur police has taken custody of Shivam Mishra, son of Mishra family, tobacco Tycoon. So Shivam Mishra will be interrogated, and Kanpur police will ensure that on the basis of primary investigation, Shivam Mishra, the man who was driving the car on Sunday, is the prime accused. But now, after the interrogation, police will file charge sheet, and in the charge sheet it will be clarified that whether Shivam Mishra or his driver was driving the car. But as of now, as per Kanpur police, Shivam is the main accused who was driving the car, and he is in Kanpur police custody now.
So after 4 days of mounting outrage, legal scrutiny, uncomfortable questions we've been asking about special treatment, Shivam Mishra has finally been arrested. Us over the phone line with a quick reaction. Ma'am, day 4, Shivam Mishra has finally been arrested. There have been allegations of preferential treatment. There's been mounting outrage, legal scrutiny, many uncomfortable and unavoidable questions, even at this stage. What do you have to say about the fact that on day 4, Shivam Mishra is now finally arrested?
It was a matter of time. In fact, all this disappearance will go against him. I believe it will go against him, and the courts will. So, therefore, it would have been better if he had surrendered at that time. But the surrender at that time would have been very risky, though it will not be avoidable. The medical test would have actually helped him, or gone against him. It would have been, the medical test would have revealed whether he was under any influence of liquor, alcohol, or that he had an epileptic attack, which I only reading through the papers. So I think it will go against him. But if he thinks that it will not go against him and his expensive lawyers or worthy lawyers will be able to rescue him out. But it was a matter of time that arrest had to happen.
Ma'am, from a policing standpoint, I just want to understand, what should ideally happen in the first few hours of such a case? Should it be medical examination, seizure of the vehicle, statement recording, and considering what...
Can you hear me?
Kanpur police did not act as per SOP?
Yes, that's exactly it. The training is, when such an accident happens, that's what SOP is that you seize the vehicle and you take into account all those occupants. That means you have ready witnesses, whoever were, and the CCTV. So CCTV, occupants, the driver, and the witnesses, that the more immediate the work is, more credible the investigation is.
And ma'am, you know, when a high-profile accused is not immediately arrested, in this case, this happened on Sunday, it's Thursday today, we finally have nabbed this man. What internal safeguards exist to ensure that there's no undue influence?
Well, obviously the delay in the arrest obviously has to be now explained. Who were the impediments in the arrest? But I was hearing the Kanpur police commissioner constantly saying it's a matter of time when we would arrest him. But the SHO, without even any senior intervention, ought to have done the two things. One, take into account the vehicle, take into account the people, and then send them to medical evidence if the person said he would had a medical emergency. So I think the SHO at that time, because of the influence, could have been, I'm not saying will, only investigation will reveal, but it could have been, and that's unfortunately the culture. It's a culture in law enforcement that show me the face and I show you the rule.
In your experience, does social and political pressure sometimes delay or accelerate police action in cases involving influential families? In this case, it's a tobacco tycoon's son.
It's both ways. It works both ways. Sometimes pressure for justice works immediately when the people come collectively to see justice. So it works. Political pressure works both ways, or influential pressure works both ways. Both in in instant action, sometimes reckless. Sometimes that instant action becomes reckless, or it immediately provides justice. But it both works both ways. That's the tragedy of the situation. It works both ways. So their pressure has a positive angle and a negative angle. So it can be political, it can be muscle power, it can be money power, it can be position power. All these influences do play a role. But the safest for an SHO of the area is when an incident like this happens, any incident like this happens, and the evidence is right before your eyes, do not hold it back. Take into account and start your investigation. More authentic it would be.
Ma'am, would you also say that this case reflects a systemic issue in policing when the accused is powerful, or is it too early to draw that conclusion? Do remember that it's been 4 days. Shivam Mishra was allegedly shifted to Delhi without even informing the police officials in Kanpur, specifically after this accident happened and people were injured.
You remember something like this happened in Goa recently, a few months ago, when those two people disappeared. Those two people disappeared after an absolutely fire inferno in a bar. Remember? And they disappeared and they went to Thailand, and then they were arrested later when they could have been booked, could have been traced right alongside. So now, why was the delay happened? Was it a pressure, or was it a smart escape by the two people who were the real owners? This is not a recent. This is not just yesterday. It's happening repeatedly, where the influential find their own ways, and sometimes they even legally advised. They're legally advised to disappear. But I think that advice does not pay off in the long run, because the disappearance works against them because they're going to be caught one way or the other, sooner or later. So the earlier you surrender, the better.
Right. Ms. Bedi, as always, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your views with us. At the moment, joining us as well, former UP DGP Vikram Mishra on the broadcast. So thank you for your time. It's been 4 days, Shivam Mishra is finally arrested. In a road crash involving some serious injuries, sir, where eyewitnesses' CCTV footage reportedly suggests that the accused was driving, is it normal for police to wait 4 days to arrest?
On the line.
All right, Vikram Mishra, the former UP DGP, seems to have put our line on hold. While we reconnect with him, let me bring you up to date with the latest details as far as this case is concerned. At the moment, after 4 days of mounting outrage, legal scrutiny, and uncomfortable questions about special treatment, about preferential treatment, Shivam Mishra has finally been arrested. We are continuing to look at what exactly changed between day 1 and day 4 that it took police officials 4 days to arrest this man. We are also told that in the middle he went to Delhi without informing police officials in Kanpur, even though they were trying to get their hands on him. Ranveer now joins us with the latest details coming in and the specific charges that Shivam Mishra is being arrested under. Ranveer, break down the latest developments for us and also the status of the alleged hired driver after the court categorically dismissed the surrender plea.
Kanpur court raised question that how can a man comes in a court with a surrender application and says that I was driving the car when Kanpur police is submitting a report that Shivam Mishra was driving the car. So that was the biggest question, and on the basis of this question, Kanpur police rejected the surrender application of Mohan, who was claiming to driving the car on the day of accident. So now Shivam Mishra is in police custody, and he will be produced before court today, so that if police want to interrogate, then obviously he will be taken into police custody, and during this investigation, all those questions who were raised will be asked by Shivam Mishra, who fled to Delhi on claiming that he was getting treatment by his family doctor. So he was in Delhi, and now Kanpur police has taken custody of Shivam Mishra after the denial of accepting surrender application by Kanpur court. So now he is in custody, and the questions will be asked by Shivam Mishra that what happened on Sunday when that accident took place. So Shivam Mishra will be grilled, and after that grilling, after that interrogation, police will file the charge sheet. But it's a lengthy process, and if we talk about this arresting, this is obviously a very big arresting, and we at NDTV, we continuously shown what happened in this case. On first day after that accident, police lodged an FIR, but without mentioning name of Shivam Mishra as accused. So we raised question, and after that, police claimed that Shivam Mishra's name has been added on the basis of preliminary inquiry, and he became the prime accused in this case. But yesterday, the case entirely turned when Mohan, who was claiming that he was driving the car on Sunday, on the day when the accident occurred. So he appeared before court with a surrender application. He was claiming that he was the man who was driving the car, but Kanpur court rejected his application and said that proper action should be taken. So now police has taken custody of Shivam Mishra. He will be produced before court today, and after that, court will decide whether he will be sent to judicial custody or police custody, or he will be granted bail. So what court will decide, that will be the next action in this case.
Has the police explained the delay though? Are they admitting any sort of procedural lapse, or are they standing by the timeline?
On the very first day when Kanpur police lodged FIR, the name of Shivam Mishra was missing, and that was a major miss. And secondly, medical inquiry was not done by Kanpur police. So this is obviously going to be big, because eyewitnesses, they were claiming that Shivam Mishra was under the influence of alcohol. But the question is, if he was drunk, then why not the medical examination done by Kanpur police? So this is the biggest question, and that's why uh, questions are on Kanpur police also, and questions are on Shivam Mishra also. And in between all these, Mohan, who is the man who claims to be the driver of the car on the day of accident. So turns and twists are coming, and let's see what police will do in this case, because if police will take custody of Shivam Mishra for interrogation, then after the interrogation, police will go ahead in this case. But if Shivam Mishra will be granted a bail or he will be sent to judicial custody, then obviously police will have to wait for some questions. So not only Shivam Mishra, but also Mohan will be grilled by Kanpur police so that a conclusion can be done in this case.